Bill Gates once said, give the hardest jobs to the laziest people because they'll find the easiest way to do it. I absolutely live by that. I'm an incredibly lazy person. No, honestly, I really am. And this dates back to even early school days for me, when I would literally watch a movie and think to myself, I'd rather get shouted at and get in trouble tomorrow instead of actually doing that homework, because to be honest, what value is it really giving the world anyway? Should I really write that history essay? The Nazis already have enough exposure. Do I really need to give them more? Genuinely, I would procrastinate like a champion. If procrastination was a productivity skill, I would be the most productive person alive. The thing is though, if you look at the output that I'm able to achieve, you'll probably say to yourself, or at least I say to myself when I look back on it, am I actually as lazy as I think I am? And I don't say the following to boast, but in the last 12 months, I have published a book, created a YouTube channel with more than 200 videos, ran 2 successful affiliate marketing businesses, created 2 new pieces of software which are launching next year, and I've got an app coming out in the Latin American region which is about to launch out to basically every country, and will be running at an event for thousands of people next week. All of this while having a 1-year-old daughter that keeps knocking on my office door wanting to play hide and seek during the day whenever I'm working at home. The point of this was not to boast, and perhaps you've just saw that and thought, I've done more than that in the last year. The point of this was I've achieved all this while being incredibly lazy, and I really do mean that. All of that has been achieved, I would say, the minimum amount of work you could possibly put into achieving it. Which brings me back to the Bill Gates quote. And before I go on to that, hard work should of course be admired. It is incredible to watch people who are able to put in the hours, grind each day and really focus on what they need to do, blah blah blah. But I'm also a firm believer that no task should be done with more difficulty than absolutely needs to be. You should make every task as simple as humanly possible for various reasons. I guess the first reason is it's not just about the laziness and getting away with doing the least amount, it's also about time. And time is honestly more important than money, because you can create more money, you can never create more time. And also, once you create more time by efficiently doing all of your tasks, then you can do other more creative things or spend time on what's more important to you, or even grow what you're already working on even further because you've just freed up a ton of time. Again, the hardest tasks, the easiest ways to do it. And using this time effectively is my whole point. And the fact is, you can make sure you can do things a lot simpler but have a much bigger output by doing one key, clear thing that lazy people like myself have used to incredible effect over the centuries, and that is to systemize everything. To systemize everything in an absolutely fascist way if you have to. What would the world look like, for example, if Henry Ford saw the car being built and said, yep, that looks fine. I think we'll do it that way as well. Basically, as a lecturer once told me in my first ever programming class, the best line of code you'll ever write is the one you didn't write yourself, the one that you copied and pasted. And I'm not saying go steal other people's work, on the contrary. What I want you to do, and what I think will help you achieve much more output, is think to yourself, or at least note down, everything you do over the next month, and anything you do daily, weekly, or at least to an extent where you're doing it a few times a month. Consider systemizing it. It's easily done. It just means putting in a few hours of work now to avoid doing any work in future. And when I talk about this, I know that given that I'm a programmer, a lot of people will probably assume what I mean is actually systemize code, something, etc. No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying find the easiest way to do it. Or at the very least, find a way that makes it easier to repeat over and over and over again and cuts the hours or time spent dramatically. Take my YouTube channel, for example, Wheel Sports. Now, there was a few comments on this that I always laugh about, and I get them every now and then with some videos when we pump out 5 videos a week, and people know that it is just me and one editor who helps me with certain things. We do have a team, but they work on my business primarily and only jump over when needs be. So how do we pump out so much content? I'll tell you how we do it, and how we do it at a similar quality to the big guys, or at least are getting there as we learn. Systemize. For example, every week I look at our videos and our editing and I write down which part took me the longest. And as we started out this journey, the piece that took me the longest was B-roll. Basically what this is the footage that we put over my voice or over the video itself. For example, if there's a video about Lewis Hamilton, then we want to have a lot of footage of Lewis Hamilton in the car talking, all these different things that we can put over the voice to make sure that the viewer is interested and knows, obviously, that we're talking about a certain thing. And the problem is that every time we were doing a video, we had to go off and find this B-roll and download it, edit it, cut it, make sure it was watermarked to say where the source was, all these different things. And then I thought to myself, why don't we just make sure that every time we're adding new B-roll, we put it into a folder under, say, Mercedes, Lewis Hamilton 2022, and then mark the video file with what he's doing. And therefore, the next time we create a video around Lewis Hamilton, all we have to do is take all that footage and drop it in because we know that it's exactly about what we're talking about. Systemize. It makes things really, really easy. And I don't just do this for footage, I do this around everything. If I find myself in Photoshop or in Premiere Pro or in After Effects doing the same thing more than twice, I immediately turn that into a preset so that I never have to do it again and can instead just drop the preset. I do this with my calendar, my workout sessions, my food, everything. All I do basically is figure out what are the things that slow me down in life, and I make them as easy as possible. I can't make it any simpler. Just make things as easy as possible, and then you can be lazy while achieving a lot. You would be surprised and mind blown how easy it is to get stuff done if you just systemize everything. Is it a pain in the arse to do once? Sure. But once you do it, then it just becomes a habit that you can do in your sleep. And if you don't believe me, read Atomic Habits. I'll put the link in the description below. It is just the best way to do things. And the only thing more important than systemizing your life is to subscribe.